Good evening, how are you doing? Welcome back to some more F1 Manager 2022 and another part of our Aston Martin Road to Glory career mode. Today we have got the Azerbaijan Grand Prix, always a Grand Prix that can throw up any sort of race, lots of safety cars, potentially red flags, you know, all of that good stuff. We've still not had a red flag in this series yet, but thank you for the incredible support so far. I say it all the time, always mean every single word. It's great interacting with you guys down in the comment section. It's fantastic seeing how you guys are getting on in your saves, and I know there are some frustrations out there about you know, the perceived lack of realism of being able to win a championship in your second season. But, you know, on the flip side, this game does have to cater to a somewhat casual audience in the fact that if it took you 10 seasons to turn Aston Martin into a championship winning team, how many people would be playing that game in 10 seasons, you know? And that's my sort of thoughts on it. Most people are not going to play more than 2 or 3 seasons on the game, just because of the sheer amount of time that it is going to take to get through all of that, all of those seasons and all of those races. And yeah, that's just my view on it. And of course, it is the first game in the series, so it gets a lot of license with me for that. It's an absolutely fantastic job as a first game of a franchise. Of course, there's little improvements to be made, and maybe one of them is maybe a difficulty setting in terms of you can choose your starting budget, or you can put certain limitations on the save, that sort of thing. You know, a bit like Football Manager, but yeah, it is what it is. I know quite a few people are I don't know, concerned about that, I guess, but we're having a great time with this series. I'm absolutely loving it. I'm glad you guys are too. And you know, I think we've been smart with our developments. We put a lot of research into this year's car, and you see it all the time. You saw it with Haas this year, you know, starting with a very, very good car after throwing everything onto it. And what it's about for us is trying to stay on top of that development race. And if we try and stay on top of the development race, then next year's car will suffer. And so the cycle continues. So it's tough. It's tough to juggle all of this. And we're still very early in the game, certainly early in this series. We don't know how things are going to pan out in 50, 60 episodes time, but we will find out when we get there. But let's immerse ourselves in the action. Thank you for the support as always. Pierre Gasly has a development point. We are going to go for defending. We're trying to get that up to around about 80. Oscar Piastri, he can have an extra smoothness, and he has now gone up to 78, which is fantastic. Nothing for Fernando Alonso, and I had a little look before, nothing for our staff. Let's have a little look at the current project. So we do actually have a research window open, but I don't think we're quite in a ATR period just yet. When does that end? Okay. So yeah, we need to get to the end of this ATR period. I suppose we can do some research. It's not going to hurt. But we don't have any engineers. That's fine. That's fine. Okay then. Okie dokie. But yeah, last time out we had a really good Grand Prix in Monaco. We actually won the race with Pierre Gasly, and it was a dramatic finish actually, with about 14% left on the intermediate tyres. We pitted Fernando Alonso onto the softs late on. He was absolutely roaring back at Sainz and Perez, but couldn't catch them. One more lap and I think he would have had them. But Alonso's tyres were even worse, so I do think he probably would have got a puncture, if I'm honest. So yeah, and that basically means that we're very much back into the championship battle. If you look at the constructors, we are second, 9 points behind Red Bull and in the Drivers' Championship. Sergio Perez leading the way, 6 points ahead of Fernando Alonso. And the top 5 are within 11 points, and Lewis Hamilton not too far behind that. Carlos Sainz not too far. So we could have, honestly, a 2010-esque season this year. We are that close, and it is that topsy-turvy in terms of who's fast in which circuits. And I'm not expecting Baku to be one of our strengths. If you look at our car, you know, on the ranking-wise, top speed and acceleration, not that great. Low speed, pretty good, but top speed, just not quite there at this circuit, and that's what's going to be really important. So I'm not fancying a Grand Prix victory this time. So let's continue on. The memorabilia room has been completed, which is lovely. Our suspensions and front wings have been made. Okay, keep pushing on. Sponsorship obligation. Apparently our suspension is under low stock. Let's get 2 of them made then. That's fine. Poor condition on the hospitality area, but we are upgrading that currently, which is fine. Okay, let's have a little look at the race preview. Have a little look at last year's result. I think did we finish 11th and 12th? We finished 11th with Vettel. Hulkenberg was 16th. Vettel was pretty close to getting our first points of the season there last year. We're expecting a 1-stop strategy. Safety car has been deployed in 3 of the last 4 races around Baku. Right then, performance targets. Qualifying position, we will guarantee that 2 will get through into the top 8, and we will guarantee that 2 get through to Q3. Let's guarantee fastest lap this time, and hope everything else falls into place. Okay, I think we're pretty much ready to go here. So, without further ado, let's get ourselves into the race weekend. Hope you enjoy.
Hello from Baku, where we're looking forward to a weekend of racing among the medieval and the modern, here at the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. Drivers will be battling it out on the streets of the Baku city circuit, a real contradiction of a track. From the long main straight, where the less drag the better, to the tight turns where downforce is a necessity. Teams are going to have to work hard to get that balance right. We're about halfway through the season now, and there's still plenty of time for everything to change. All eyes are on the teams and how they tackle the rest of the year. Let the weekend begin!
Okay, thank you, David. We are ready and round to go. It is going to be pretty cloudy, but should remain dry throughout the weekend, so I'll get on with practice and we will see how we get on. I'll see you for qualifying. Okay, so at the end of FP3, you can see both drivers have got decent confidence in their car. So 94% for Pierre Gasly, 91% for Fernando Alonso. Pace in practice has been pretty decent, actually, so looking forward to seeing how we get on here. Again, we're going to go for 2 flying laps. We're not going to include the cool down lap in that. And we're going to get ourselves into qualifying and simulate each session. So here we go. Let's simulate Q1. We'll be back for Q3. So Q1, P3 and P5. Pierre Gasly very slightly ahead of Fernando Alonso. Let's do the same in Q2 then. Here we go. And once again, 4th and 6th. Again, a shade of time. Sainz exactly the same time as Pierre Gasly. So let's get ourselves into Q3 and see how we get on. Here we go.
radio check.
I think it's okay.
Yeah,
Green light.
a car
green
coming out.
light.
That is a Ferrari. I'm going to send out Fernando Alonso. And send Pierre Gasly out just behind him. I'm going to try and get that tour on our first lap. It looks like everybody's got the same idea as well. An eclectic top 10. George Russell out in qualifying at some point. Can we actually see where he was? Doesn't say on there. I'm sure we'll see at the end of the end of the session. But yeah, let's hop on board with Pierre Gasly. It's probably a little bit too far back to be getting any sort of tour from Sebastian Vettel, but should be close enough to be having a good go here. And these may well be our best opportunities on these brand new tyres, because I'm not sure if we're going to have any other new tyres in our repertoire. So we'll take a little look at sector times. Max Verstappen purple through the first sector. Alonso managed to do a 35.1. And it's a 35.1 for Pierre Gasly as well. What did Verstappen do? He did a 34.9. So we are a couple of tenths of a second off.
Copy.
Let's see how we get on in this fairly long middle
So
sector.
having to let these tyres cool a bit.
Alonso coming around now. What's he going to manage here? A 40.8. That's Leclerc. His quickest 40.8 for Gasly as well. 40.6 for Leclerc. So we are going to be a fair way off here. Fernando Alonso is going to be the first over the line for us. What can he manage? He goes second. Half a second off. Here goes Pierre Gasly. And he goes fourth, just behind Fernando Alonso. 3 thousandths of a second between them. And, well, overall, about 100th of a second off Max Verstappen. But Charles Leclerc, what a lap for him. We are going to be doing a second lap here. Keep an eye on Fernando Alonso. He's yellow in the first sector. And Pierre Gasly's yellow in the first sector too. So we need you to refuel. I'm saying you don't need to worry. So here comes Alonso. Through the middle sector. Unless he's green, we will call him in. Yeah, Gasly's going to be slower, so we will call him in. And yeah, Alonso a long way off, so we call them both in. Traffic too much of an issue. So that's unfortunately the end of that one. We do have fairly new tyres, but nothing brand new. One lap. And then we're going to have to work out where we go here. I want them both very, very close to each other. Possibly not that close, though. I want one of them to have the tow. I have no idea if that's going to work out well for us or not. Well, we'll see, won't we? We will see. Here they go then. This is going to be Gasly's chance. I think he's too close to Fernando here. So hitting the top speed of 330, and it very similar for Pierre there. Now we need Alonso to be setting a green first sector here. But yeah, I don't think this is going to be good. Alonso coming through the first sector split, yellow and yellow. 35-2. 35-4 for Fernando. That's really poor. And if we compare that, yeah, just a long way off. So I don't think this has worked. We have got a couple of people. And then Max Verstappen in particular. Look at this. He's getting a tow off the Alfa Romeo. And wow, we got very close to Charles Leclerc there. Bottas 6th. Hamilton coming over the line. There's somebody behind him. It's Carlos. Well, Sainz actually is behind Norris. Oh, and Sainz has been propelled to second position there. Meanwhile, Fernando Alonso green in the middle sector, but I think he's far too far off. A 40.9. Pierre Gasly needing to get this tow here. Come on. Alonso comes through. No improvement, and no improvement for Gasly. So it didn't work for us. So it's going to be 5th and 6th on the grid for the race. You can't help but feel we couldn't and perhaps should have done a lot better there. But it is what it is. Charles Leclerc is on pole position ahead of Carlos Sainz in 2nd, Max Verstappen 3rd, Perez 4th with Alonso in 5th, then Gasly 6th, Hamilton 7th, Bottas 8th, Vettel 9th, and Lando Norris in P10. Outside the top 10, you've got Ocon in 11th with Russell in 12th. Zhou Guan Yu in 13th, Ricciardo 14th with Albon in 15th. Magnussen, Stroll, Schumacher, Tsunoda and Nico Hülkenberg round off the grid.
Drivers are strapping themselves in, ready for race day.
There was some good work from Aston Martin during the qualifying session, and they will go to the grid full of confidence. This weekend, Red Bull displayed real promise during qualifying, but will they fulfill that potential by the time they reach the checkered flag? And the race will be taking place under blue skies. That means the teams should be able to apply their strategies without any added complications.
But for now though, let's get ready for all the action of the Azerbaijan Grand Prix.
Okay then, let's see how we get on here then in the race. This time we're definitely going for a strategy. Perhaps we go for a fairly straightforward one. Medium hard. Fairly aggressive. That looks good to me. Alonso. You know what? We're actually going to go for the same strategy. With both drivers for once. Just Alonso 1 lap later. Probably should have swapped them the other way around, but doesn't matter. We're going to give them as much fuel as we can. We're going to give them the option to attack at the start, but only what they should be attacking. We'll see if we can make good here. So let's get ourselves going and into the Grand Prix. Let's start it. Here we go.
It's sunny and bright as the drivers line up on the grid. Looking here at Fernando Alonso. They might not be in the top 3 spots, but things could change fast once the race gets underway. Next for the team, it's Pierre Gasly. A top 10 position today, but will they be able to capitalize on it? Everything's been building to this. Here we go with the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. And it's
Lights out. Away we go then. Let's keep an eye on the battle for the lead. Charles Leclerc is going to be overtaken by Sainz, is he, as he goes down the inside. The 2 Red Bulls side by side into turn 1. Alonso stays ahead of Gasly, who is fighting off Lewis Hamilton in P7. This is unbelievable. Let's have a little look at this. Fernando Alonso, meanwhile, he's going to have a little look at Sergio Perez, the championship leader. Is he going to go down the right-hand side? He is. Going to have a little look. That's going to turn in to the inside line here. Good move from Fernando Alonso. Now, Pierre Gasly.
You're doing a good job.
Is ahead of Lewis Hamilton, and now he's going to be having a look at Sergio Perez. And this is important moves at the start of this Grand Prix. So here goes Pierre Gasly. Is he going to have a little look? Surely not going to have a look down into the castle section. That would be a bit tight. Correct, he does not. But Fernando Alonso is going to try and stick with these top 3 for now. Both of our drivers have had 2 wins this season. They both know how to taste victory. Now then, here comes Fernando Alonso. Little dummy on Max Verstappen. He's going to have a little chance round the outside here. Verstappen rings him out to dry, but Fernando Alonso gets a better exit. Ooh, I thought that was going to be an excellent chance. And Gasly's meanwhile made it past Sergio Perez. We'll have a little look at the replay of that anytime soon when we get it up top. But Fernando Alonso currently chasing Max Verstappen for P3 in this Grand Prix as Charles Leclerc leads, and Carlos Sainz is currently in 2nd. Max Verstappen 3rd, Alonso 4th, with Pierre Gasly currently in P5. We've got Perez following him in P6, with Lewis Hamilton dropping off a little bit in 7th. Bottas 8th, Vettel 9th, and Esteban Ocon in 10th. Norris follows in 11th, with George Russell in P12. Daniel Ricciardo is 13th, and bringing up the rear at the moment, Mr. Nico Hülkenberg. Okay then. Well, Fernando Alonso still sticking with the likes of Verstappen up top. Let's get ourselves onto the balance. We're going to play the long game in this race. I don't think we've got the out-and-out pace to win this.
Fuel. Okay.
But we might do if we're smart and if we're strategic. And certainly Gasly seems to be catching back up to Fernando Alonso here. Alonso sticking with Verstappen as it stands. Let's have a look at the tyres. So Verstappen and Sainz on the soft tyres, Leclerc on mediums, Bottas is on soft, Ocon and Norris also on softs, and Magnussen, Albon, Schumacher and Hülkenberg are all the soft tyre runners. They're not doing their best job at the moment, it has to be said. And now Fernando Alonso has a chance on Max Verstappen. We're going to go overtake. And we're going to push on the fuel.
Yeah, copy me.
Let's see if he can
No saving required.
make a go at it here.
Copy.
He's very much closing in. He's going to swing to the left, is he?
DRS enabled.
Not quite, not yet. Going to go neutral, but he will have DRS throughout this first sector. This is going to be Fernando Alonso's first chance of getting past Max Verstappen. DRS enabled as Carlos Sainz up ahead. He's having a look at Charles Leclerc, and Sainz is into the lead of this Grand Prix. Very, very good for him.
This is good, come on.
And Gasly following Fernando beautifully as well. Let's get ourselves zoomed forward towards the DRS. Red Bull just do not have the race pace at this stage of the season. Ferrari pulling away nicely at the start of this Grand Prix. Fernando Alonso is going to have DRS here. This should be like taking candy from a kid. He's getting right in behind Max Verstappen here. He's got an excellent chance, an excellent opportunity. And here we go. Didn't make the move though. We could have a chance here. Go side by side, and Alonso is through. Very, very good.
Keep doing what you're doing.
And Pierre Gasly's going to have a look as well. He's having a look down the inside. Is Verstappen going to lose 2 positions here?
Aston Martin with
Pierre
a great
Gasly
play
round the
there.
outside.
They moved up a place.
That's going to turn into the inside line, but he just about loses out. Here we go. Oh, this is so close. But I think he has to cease the position for now. But that was awesome. Side-by-side action on lap 4 of this Grand Prix of 51. Can Fernando Alonso push on now? Can he get into that DRS train with Sainz and Leclerc? He's pulled away from Max. That's exactly what we wanted. And here we go then. Pierre Gasly now is going to have a great chance. Going to push him on the fuel.
You can stop, lift and coast.
I'm going to overtake as well. And see if we can get him past here. Because Verstappen does not have DRS on Alonso. So here we go. Pierre Gasly within range. We know that that Red Bull is very, very quick in the straight line. Fernando Alonso puts in the fastest lap of the Grand Prix so far. Gasly's going to follow Alonso's lead here and pass him into turn 3, I think. Here we go. Just get yourself out of this, out of the firing range nice and quickly here. Don't think so, not this time, but Alonso is closing in on the top 2 here. Because them are battling, it is keeping Alonso in the game. So we're going to go neutral. Let's push it forward. So, can Pierre Gasly get him this time? He's going to use pretty much all of his DRS here. But he's going to get past him before the DRS zone. That is awesome from Pierre Gasly. What a move that is. And I think he's going to have DRS as well to pull away. Or perhaps not.
Looks like
Max
Aston
Verstappen
Martin
has got it.
just gained a race position.
And that was very, very good from Max Verstappen. It was an excellent
So frustrating.
It was an excellent exit from Pierre.
Red Bull gained a place.
Now DRS, come on. Pull to the left, matey. No, not quite this time. And then it's going to be another lap of stuck behind Max Verstappen. Got barely any ERS deployment, so it's all going to be about DRS and the overspeed. So here we go. DRS enabled from Pierre Gasly. That's now pulling them closer. And this is going to be a great chance to go down the inside into turn 1. And Gasly's finally through on Max Verstappen.
Okay, so just lift and coast. Copy.
Now he needs to get Max Verstappen.
Aston Martin with a great play there. They've moved up a place.
He's covered him off beautifully here. And Gasly now in P4, so P3 and P4 in this Grand Prix. I feel like that's pretty much likely where we're going to finish, because I don't think we can attack much more than this. So let's zoom it on. Hopefully Gasly can get a decent gap to Verstappen. I don't think he's going to manage it here. It's going to be another pass from Max Verstappen, I think, because he's right in our gearbox here. DRS open. No, Verstappen can't make the move this time.
We just need to charge up. Okay.
Well, here goes Max Verstappen again with the DRS. Having a look towards the inside. It's not going to happen though. It's Fernando Alonso still pushing on the front two here. So let's zoom it forward. Can Pierre Gasly hold off Max Verstappen? Yes, he can. Can he do it again here? Oh no, Verstappen's through. Well, I think Gasly just needs to stay close to Verstappen now. Don't think there's any real point in trying to push it, but it looks like Verstappen's perhaps pushing a little bit here because he's starting to catch Fernando Alonso, who himself is now potentially having a look at Pierre Gasly, and he is through. He is through on Pierre.
Looks like Aston
Let's have a little look at that from Fernando.
Here's the replay. Now watch
He went
this.
down the
Here's
inside of turn
Alonso.
2. Then he had DRS and he was through beautifully. And closing in on Charles Leclerc as well. Let's look at tyre life. Yeah, the medium tyre runners on much better tyres than us, but it's the soft tyre ones I'm worried about. I feel like they're going to really struggle to get those hard tyres all the way to the end. Alonso already a second ahead of Carlos Sainz. Meanwhile, Gasly's dropped off slightly. So Alonso's going to have a chance at Charles Leclerc here. So are we going to see a pass for the lead of this Grand Prix? I think we are. Here goes Fernando Alonso with DRS. Closing in on Charles Leclerc. New fastest lap for Fernando. Having a little gander down the inside. Little dummy. And now is surely going to fly past into turn 3 here. And here he goes. Fernando Alonso leads the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. What a driver he is.
Good job.
And now he's going to push on. We're actually going to push. We're going to deploy and attack.
Aston Martin.
I'm going to try and get him more than a second in front of Charles Leclerc, so that he's not just instantly overtaken again. good already. Nearly 9/10 in front of Leclerc. Up the castle section, 1.1 now, and that is where we have our big advantages in those low speed corners. And look at him, he is flying now. Fernando Alonso is doing a Vettel. This is what Vettel used to do at the start of Grand Prix back in the early 2010s. He used to start the Grand Prix, absolutely bolt the first couple of laps and get out of DRS range and then just waltz into the distance. And that's exactly what Fernando is hoping to do here. This is going to be another very, very fast lap. And here he comes over the line. Surely that's going to be another fastest lap for Fernando Alonso. Not this time, apparently. But he's more than
Yeah, take it easy.
done enough to break
copy.
the back of that gap
Safe fuel, safe fuel.
to Charles Leclerc.
Copy.
Now Alonso is coming in a lap after Pierre Gasly. Might well change our plans with that. This is where Alonso really should make his time up on Leclerc. He's doing a great job. 12 laps gone in this Grand Prix. We're currently 1st and 5th, and we do have yellow flags. Somebody is locked up.
Car in the wall.
And somebody has
Was it?
crashed. Don't know who it is.
I think that was a crash.
It's George Russell.
Let's
Let's
take
have a little
closer
look at this.
Now let's look at this. Here's George Russell. Thank goodness nobody else was involved. That was a big crash.
So he went wide into the wall. But it's okay. Okay then. So Fernando Alonso 1.8 ahead of Charles Leclerc currently. The problem is Leclerc is catching up slightly, so we'll have to see whether he can keep that gap going. I think in the slow corners Alonso should be able to push on a little bit. Let's just have a look at his tyres. So his tyres are doing okay for now. And Pierre Gasly's doing a good job as well. There's Daniel Ricciardo, Zhou Guanyu, Lance Stroll there in the pit lane. Potentially two-stopping. Does that open the floodgates of other cars coming into the pits? Are we going to see the likes of Sainz and Max Verstappen pit? Not yet. So 1.3 seconds is the gap for Fernando Alonso over Charlie Leclerc. Pierre Gasly currently 1.7 behind Mr. Max Verstappen. I do think Alonso's going to have to attack on the tyres a little bit. Try and open that gap up just a little bit more. He has got pace in hand, but do not want Leclerc coming back at us. So Alonso's going to just attack the tyres a little bit. Take a little bit out of them, get that gap back up to 2 seconds. That's what I'm hoping for. particularly through this middle sector. That's where Alonso's making the big gains. Gasly's still 1.7 behind Max Verstappen. Oh, safety car. What has happened? How far off are we? Ooh. I think we want to get them into the pits now. Let's do this. Let's do this. Let's take the cheap pit stop while we can. And what's happened? It's Yuki Tsunoda.
Now let's look at this. The focus on Tsunoda. That crash is terrible news for the team.
It wasn't an awful crash.
The team are devastated. They'll be questioning just what happened out there.
So, let's hop on board with Fernando Alonso. He is hopefully going to duck into the pits here. And I'm assuming the other guys are going to follow us in. It's
Copy. Pit entry.
It's definitely going to be interesting. It's going to be spicy.
Copy.
I think Charles Leclerc has continued on. So, Alonso in.
In the box.
We've got Gasly in as well. But I think Alonso should be
Make
in
sure
and
you
out easily.
Pit limiter as you come in the pit lane.
So Alonso away. Very nicely there. Pierre Gasly now. Rolling down the pit lane. He's in the box. And that is what you call a very, very efficient double stack. And there you go. We now have done our pit stops. Now, Leclerc and Perez did continue on. Alonso just behind Perez. Hamilton carried on as well. Vettel did. Sainz has been in the pits. Verstappen's been in. Gasly's been in. I assume Ocon's been in. Yeah. It looks like everybody except those four drivers have been into the pits, so that's truly a big mistake for them. So let's get back on board with Fernando, and let's zoom it forward just slightly. So we've got safety car at least for one more lap, but I'm not convinced it'll be any more after that. So we were gonna come in lap 22 and 23, I believe. So we quite like the safety car to stay out just a little bit longer. It's all going to be what Charles Leclerc does. And Sergio Perez, to be honest. Well, it looks like the safety car is going to... Ooh, I was...
Safety car will be in this lap. Copy.
I was expecting
Push more. Okay.
the safety car
You can stop lift and coast.
to be in,
Yeah.
but alas, it's not. I expected it to stay out another lap when I seen it come round where it did. But, yeah, this is going to be interesting. What's going to happen to Leclerc and Perez? This is going to be an exciting next few laps, because Fernando Alonso... His tyres are going to struggle here.
Okay.
Let's keep an eye on Fernando Alonso. We're waiting for Leclerc to bolt. And Leclerc does bolt. And Fernando Alonso straight away is going to have a little look at Sergio Perez. Is he going to go down the inside here on those fresh tyres? He is going to have a little look. Doesn't quite make it past. What about Pierre Gasly? He's having a look at Max Verstappen. Of course, they're both on fresh tyres, but it's going to be tough. And Fernando Alonso going defensive on Lewis Hamilton. I think Alonso just needs to play the long game here. He does not need to get past them. But they're going to have fresher tyres towards the end of the Grand Prix. If they take these mediums much further, you know, I'm talking another 10, 12 laps. Then they could put the soft tyres on. And that's my only real worry. So here we go. This is going to be the chance for Alonso on Sergio Perez. Oh, Perez is in the pits. Wow, Perez in the pits. Well, that is a shock because he's going to drop right to the back of the field. Let's just hop on board with him. He's on hard tyres. Well, he is going to struggle to get back through this field. Now, does that mean Leclerc is going to come in this lap as well? Potentially. Just trying to play that long game with Fernando Alonso. Now Pierre Gasly still stuck behind Max Verstappen. I'm not overly concerned at this point though, because I think later in the Grand Prix we can go pedal to the metal and really try and get past him. But I'm really intrigued to see whether Charles Leclerc comes in this lap. And also, you got to think, what happens if there's a late safety car? Perez at the moment losing time to us, will be gaining time to Hulkenberg, but Leclerc stays out. Hamilton is in. Hamilton's in.
DRS is enabled.
And Vettel is in as well. So Pierre Gasly is now in 5th place. He's chasing after Max Verstappen. And DRS is enabled. So let's stay on board this battle for now, because Pierre Gasly is going to have a chance on Max here. Is he going to have a look down the inside? I don't think he's going to manage it. Not quite. So yeah. Let's see, Fernando Alonso right behind Charles Leclerc now. He's 3.3 ahead of Carlos Sainz, his compatriot. We're already nearly 3 seconds ahead of him. 5.2 is Verstappen's gap to Leclerc. Now can Pierre get past Max here? We've got a good chance, if I'm honest, on the main straight. If we deploy. So here we go. Gonna deploy
You can use
Pierre's.
energy.
Yeah.
And now, here we go. DRS. How is Max Verstappen still in front here? Well, that is ridiculous. But Charles Leclerc's in. Leclerc's in, by the way. He's got the hard tyres on. Where's Perez? Perez is going to come round. Is he going to overtake Leclerc? No, he's not.
That's it.
And Pierre Gasly is past Verstappen now. We're putting him on deploy. Try and get him
Looks
up
like
to
Aston Martin have just gained a race position.
the back of Carlos Sainz. This is a great opportunity for us to get another 1-2 this season. Less than a second behind now. I'm going to go on to neutral. Should be able to make the move. Regardless. It's about keeping these tyres intact until the end of the Grand Prix. That's going to be the real challenge, I think. Honestly, with Alonso, we can go standard.
Yeah, take it easy.
Don't think we
Okay.
need to push that hard with Fernando. He did the donkey work earlier on. And fastest lap of the race for Pierre Gasly. A 1:46.5. What did Fernando do last lap? A 47.8. That's a fairly slow lap for Fernando. But here goes Pierre Gasly now. He's going to have a little chance on Carlos Sainz. Oh, this is tense. This is a tense Grand Prix. It looks like Fernando Alonso is absolutely bossing it, but I don't think it's actually the case. I think Sainz could very much still be in this. So we'll zoom it forward. I'm going to see if Gasly can get Carlos Sainz on the straight this time. Try not to use too much of the tyres. And here he goes. This is going to be the chance. He goes down the inside of Carlos Sainz, and Pierre Gasly still side by side with Carlos. He's going to get the DRS as he goes round turn 2. And now Pierre Gasly leads Carlos Sainz through the corner. And Gasly up into P2 in this Grand Prix, and now he's going to absolutely attack
The tyres are happy to push.
and try and get up to the back of Fernando Alonso, and we could have Duel in the Desert V2 here, everybody, because the Spanish Grand Prix earlier this year provided a brilliant battle between Fernando Alonso and Pierre Gasly, and because of the likes of Perez, Leclerc, Hamilton and Vettel not doing their best jobs with the strategy, it has given us a free run at this, essentially. And now Gasly really closing in on Fernando, but we are going to reduce everything down now. We'll keep that on push for the moment. But we've got Fernando Alonso leading this Grand Prix Pierre Gasly in second, Carlos Sainz in third, Max Verstappen in fourth, Bottas fifth, Norris in sixth with Ocon seventh, Albon eighth, Magnussen ninth, and Daniel Ricciardo in 10th place. Charles Leclerc, meanwhile, 5.1 behind Mick Schumacher. He is going to really struggle to get back into this battle. It is quite ridiculous. But Fernando Alonso leads. And let's zoom it on. We'll keep an eye on that time delta to Carlos Sainz. Oh, we've got another car in the wall.
Yellow flag 15, yellow 15.
Yeah, copy.
Now, that was Lando Norris. Let's see what happened to Lando.
Now. Watch this. We're looking at Lando Norris.
Because Ricciardo seems to have jumped up a couple of positions. So Lando locked up. Oh, that's a huge crash.
And there's the crash.
And somehow, Lando...
That's going to be a big blow to the team.
Wow. Somehow Lando is still in this Grand Prix. I don't quite know how. But he is nonetheless. So let's zoom this forward. We're going to keep an eye on that delta to Carlos Sainz, as I've said. But we're going to try and control the race from here. Control our pace, control the race. Fernando Alonso leading, Gasly in second. If Alonso completes this victory, he would take over the lead of the driver's standings. We've got another yellow flag, and it's Michael Schumacher, Mick Schumacher, sorry, that has crashed.
No DRS.
Is he out? It's a virtual safety car.
Slow down.
I don't think it's worth trying to do anything here. Mick Schumacher is okay, apparently. Not sure exactly what's happened,
Let's
but
have a look. Now just focus on the hat.
oh, it looked like there was a spin for Lance Stroll, and Schumacher went into
Won't
him.
have been expecting that.
But all gaps neutralised for now. Let's just keep it going. I know I haven't fiddled with any of this. I think there's a bit of a glitch with the AI that they don't slow down to those speeds, so we're just letting them go at their normal racing speed for now. Virtual safety car, sorry, is ending soon. So we're waiting for those flags to go green. And get this Azerbaijan Grand Prix underway once again. So, Fernando Alonso leading the way. Gasly P2, as we've said. Carlos Sainz back within 1.5 seconds of Gasly. Again, we'll attack if we feel we need to. There has been a couple of big incidents in this race already. There could well be another safety car. There could well be a red flag. And that would definitely change the complexion of the race. As it stands, Carlos Sainz still at 1.3 seconds behind Gasly. We don't want that to get within a second. So we will be pushing on in a lap or two. Sainz at the moment seems the quicker car. And we do have a lot of pace in hand, we know that. But here they go through onto lap 31.
So DRS is enabled now.
DRS enabled once again. And I think we're just going to have a couple of push laps here.
Push now. Okay.
Just to try and get that gap open.
Okay.
To Gasly. To Sainz, sorry. I think that's what we need. We just need that buffer.
We need to charge DRS.
Right, let's harvest with Gasly.
We just need to charge up.
that doesn't actually ruin his gap with Carlos. Of course, that'll ruin his gap to Fernando a little bit. There goes Alonso. He is absolutely flying away. This could almost guarantee him the victory here. Is that going to be a faster slap? Yes, it is. Wow. He did seem to be zooming along a 1:45.8. That is brilliant from Nando. So I'm going to let him push away. As we reach 3/5 race distance pretty much. 60% of the way through. Go neutral there. And again, zoom the pace forward. Could well be another faster slap for Fernando Alonso, who's going purple again. And here he comes through. Is that going to be another faster slap? I don't think it quite was, but Gasly doing a great job as well. Russell up to P7 now. Hamilton up to 13th. Leclerc 12th. But I think Leclerc is going to struggle to catch Zhou Guanyu at any great speed here. Alonso still leading the way. 4.7 ahead of Pierre Gasly. Gasly 2.7 ahead of Carlos Sainz in third. Verstappen fourth, 1.6 behind. And then a big gap back to Bottas in fifth and Ocon sixth. Ricciardo a brilliant seventh at the moment, ahead of Russell eighth, Albon ninth, and Zhou Guanyu in P10. Alright, let's keep pushing. We should see a significant increase in the gap here. Reduce that down to aggressive now. Sainz may well start closing in, but shouldn't at any great speed. Doing a great job of keeping this going. What about Fernando here with the tyres? Probably back down to standard now. We've got a good gap. We got 4 seconds between Gasly and Sainz, and 6 seconds between Alonso and Gasly, so we're looking very, very good here as we head into the final 7 laps of this Grand Prix. Leclerc, by the way, up to P7. This is a great recovery drive. He may well get to P5 by the end of this Grand Prix, but he's arguably been the fastest driver this whole weekend. Well, let's keep an eye on Carlos Sainz, because he is now within a second of Pierre. Pierre's just hit 30% tyre wear. His tyres could be falling off the cliff very, very soon. Now he's got 3 laps to go after this.
It will be difficult to recover the front.
Is he going to be able to?
To undercut someone or overcut or something?
Is he going to be able to stay in front?
Is it faster?
Copy that.
Yeah, the problem is front is through. Can you help me?
Okay. I think we just have to hope and pray here that Carlos Sainz doesn't get past, because Sainz definitely quicker than Gasly at this phase. Oh, and Gasly right behind. Sainz right behind here. We're going to go on to defend. And there goes Carlos Sainz.
3 to go.
He's going to have a look down the inside. This is a good move from Carlos Sainz. He is through. Let's hop back on board. Who's going to have DRS? Gasly's going to have it, so he is going to push forward. And Pierre Gasly stays in front of Carlos Sainz. What he is doing is pretty much guaranteeing his teammate the victory by battling with Carlos here. And really, where the danger zone is towards the end of this lap, and I can assure you, once we are onto the penultimate lap of this Grand Prix, I'm going to make sure Pierre Gasly is going at it like the clappers. So here we go. We're going to attack. We're going to defend. And we're hopefully going to see Pierre Gasly defending his position here over the final 2 laps.
2 to go.
Sainz has got DRS again, but Gasly defending beautifully. And he stays ahead going into turn 1. He's going to attack the tyres all the way. Sainz with the DRS here. Gasly with DRS trying to defend. Can't manage it.
I'm just all over the place.
And now is Gasly going to be able to stay with
Advance the race position.
Carlos Sainz? Let's have a look at tyre wears. Yeah, you can see how much better they are. And they've just looked after them. I said we didn't have the outright pace. We had to push a little bit further on our tyres. Now Sainz has left it too late to grab Fernando, but certainly has better pace, and you can see that right now. We are closing in on Fernando Alonso. Gasly staying with Carlos Sainz, but I think Fernando should manage it because he's only got 1 lap left. But here we go. Pierre Gasly is going to be chasing after Carlos Sainz. DRS is hopefully going to bring us nice and close. Has just dropped out of the 1 second window. I'm hoping that the DRS detection zone was just before there, because if not, it's all going to be over here. I don't think Gasly's going to get it.
Last lap now.
And he doesn't. So Pierre Gasly, I think, is going to have to settle for P3 unless Carlos Sainz gets held up by that traffic that we can see approaching us. Well, 1.5 now, the gap. Let's deploy
Use
it.
energy if you need it.
Alonso only 2.5 ahead here. Carlos Sainz there in the background. I think he should be okay. But Sainz is closing in at a rate of knots here. Now what we don't want to happen is Carlos get within a second.
We have low battery.
Okay.
Just gonna have to go neutral on that. I think he's gonna be okay, but 1 more lap and I think Sainz would have had us here. Sainz is coming right at us here. Is he gonna get within a second? I don't think so. Fernando Alonso is going to come round. He's going to win his 3rd race of the season, and he is going to win or take the lead of the World Championship. He wins the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. He finishes a 2nd ahead of Carlos Sainz in 2nd. Pierre Gasly finishes in P3. with Max Verstappen just behind him in P4. So Gasly nearly fell off the podium. Tyres had fell off a cliff because we'd had to attack. We've got another drag race up to the line. Who's going to win it? Is Bottas going to hold on? He does. P5 for Bottas. Leclerc comes home in P7. What about Albon? Albon is going to finish ahead of Hamilton. Albon finishes 8th. Hamilton's going to finish in P9. And Perez in P10. Russell there in P11. He'll be disappointed with his weekend. Magnussen and Ricciardo. Ricciardo gets him over the line. This can always happen in Baku. All the way up to the line. Zhou Guanyu, he's going to finish 15th. We've then got Lando Norris coming round. And I believe everybody finished on the lead lap. I don't think anybody was lapped. Which is quite amazing, really, considering in Monaco we had some people being lapped 2 times. But there goes Lando Norris. He goes over the line after his big incident before. He finishes in 16th. Stroll comes over the line in 17th. Here comes Mick Schumacher. He comes over the line in P18. And Nico Hülkenberg is the last man over the line. And not the best season for him so far, it's fair to say. So Nico Hülkenberg comes over the line and he finishes in P19. So there you have it then. We do win. And we have a 1st and 3rd, meaning I think we're going to take the lead in both championships.
What a flawless weekend here from Fernando Alonso. His team must be proud. This podium is a remarkable achievement for the whole team.
Absolutely awesome to see Fernando up there again. As a team, we've now won 4 races in a row.
And the talented veteran rounds off another great drive, adding to his impressive F1 podium tally. Today's competitors gave it their all, but it's going to be those 3 taking home the big points.
5th win out of 7.
Having an extremely good day at the track.
This was thrilling to watch. They've done an excellent job and they deserve all the plaudits.
After an intense weekend, the team ends in 1st place in the constructor standings.
For the next round in Formula 1, the teams are travelling to the circuit Gilles Villeneuve for the Canadian Grand Prix in Montreal.
Well, we had an absolute low light last year in Canada. It was the lowest of the low, really. Fernando Alonso wins the Baku Grand Prix. Sainz finishes a 2nd behind in P2. Pierre Gasly finishes in P3 and on the podium. Max Verstappen 4th, Bottas 5th, Ocon 6th, Leclerc 7th, Albon 8th, Lewis Hamilton in 9th, and Sergio Perez rounds out the top 10 into the Drivers' Championship. And look at that! 1 and 2 in the Drivers' standings. Alonso takes a 15-point lead over Pierre Gasly. Max Verstappen there in 3rd. Somehow, Sergio Perez 4th, then Leclerc in 5th. Still, only 20 points separate the top 5. It is going to be a very, very close season, but at the moment, we are definitely taking it to them. I don't think we've got the fastest car out there, but we're making most of the strategy. Sending both cars in on that double stack, and then pushing on once we got past Sainz, building that 10-second gap. That's what we needed to do. So we take 18-point lead in the constructors' standings as well. That is very, very strong at this stage of the season. So very, very happy with how it's going. It was an intense Grand Prix. Pierre Gasly surely is going to have another development point. Alonso does. Nothing for Piastri this weekend as we didn't put him into the car in free practice. So there you go then. They do have to development points apiece. And, I mean, are we going to do the unthinkable and win the championship this year? I really don't know. I feel like we're making a bit of a mistake not researching for next season. But we do have another design complete. We are pushing ahead with our development train. And hopefully it's all going to come good in the end. But if you have enjoyed that, give it a big thumbs up down below. Subscribe for plenty more F1 Manager content. And I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. Thanks for watching and goodbye.